Hey everybody, it's Travis. We're back again with this same model that we just worked on with replacing the doors. So our doors are all in there, but we are left with this schedule that we're not really liking this. So I think what I'm going to do here is just go to my project browser, collapse everything, take a look at the schedules that I have in here. There's that door schedule we're looking at. Let's delete that altogether. And then do we have one in? No, we don't. Okay, so what I think the easiest way to probably go about this is with a tool called CTC Hive, or I think this has been recently called Nexus Suite. But I'm just going to go click on libraries and go to my template resources library. And in here, I think I have one. If I just type in door schedule, we'll see what happens. So here's one called door and frame schedule. I'll load that in. And this is the schedule that has been developed in tandem with these doors. So what you can see here is what we had before was very incomplete, right? We had stuff kind of all over the place. And on this one, you can see we've actually got a more complete schedule. Now, there's some funky stuff going on here. This is sorted by level, and that's a little bit odd that there's all of these blanks in here. So let's investigate this a little bit. So I got level 1, level 2, and then main floor, it says 48. Top of footing. Okay. So I think what's happening here is if we did a little test and we said include elements and links, okay, so that's already there. And you go to sorting and grouping, it's by level, but there's nothing to tell us what these linked doors are. Now, given the last exercise, we went through every door in this project and we replaced the ones that we didn't want anymore. But one of the other things that we did was we reduced the schedule size by showing what was in the other file. So if I do that again here, does that get rid of that whole space? Yeah. So basically now I've got doors in the basement, doors at level 1, and then doors at level 2. And really, the way that this should be worked out is they shouldn't have a number of 2696, right? This is where you would get into a renumbering tool to change their instance parameter mark or their type parameter. So let's talk about that a little bit. We've solved our first mystery. I'm going to go to level 1 here, my coordination plan. And because we don't really have the plan developed enough to do this, it doesn't really make much point in numbering these doors right now. Really, the process would be something like this. Here's your main entrance, right? So this is room 101. Then you come over here, this would be 102. The next room, this would be 103. So really what has to happen is that your rooms need to be named and numbered appropriately first, and then you would put that in. So obviously these two classrooms, none of these rooms are really making sense. I'm just going to kind of talk us through this, okay? So one of the things that I'll do, I've got a view template that's meant for this in a way. If we say temporarily apply, and we click on our room analysis view template, what we'll get is a sense of what rooms are currently in there. And when I grab this room, I can see that it's actually not bound by this partition. There's something going on here, right? So that room in itself, let me just get rid of it for the time being. All of these rooms are kind of problematic, and I just prefer to take a look at their problems as we move along. So we're getting rid of all of these rooms here currently in the view, but they're not gone from the project yet. And in order to get rid of them entirely, I'm going to come in here, grab them, and then just say delete. But what I'm trying to delete are the rows, not the columns. And that just leaves me with these two. Now, probably a good idea is to sort this by level. So I'll put the level in here, and then again, let's make that a hidden field, but sort it by that criteria with a footer, and then we'll see our rooms. So we've got in the basement these two. That's not the level I'm concerned with, right? So type in RM for room, right? And then let's fix this. So I think this was meant to be a mezzanine or something to that effect. Maybe look down below, but you can see what's happening here. It's probably one of these things. There's a door there, a wall there, which says room bounding, and then another one here. I'm just going to change my work set to the interiors, go to room separator, and see what happens if I draw that across. Nothing happens. What if we bring it all the way down? Okay, so there's something going on there. Maybe this isn't connected. Right. If I hide the wall, we can see our line, then we can bring that back. That's still not fixing that issue. Right, so it's what's probably happening is right in here, because I believe we have this set up as a group. So maybe our room separator should just be a rectangle. These are the situations you don't really get too crazy about this. Just solve the problem and then move on with it. That's kind of how I deal with these. Right, so now I've already used this view template, so if I come back here, and it's easy for me to reselect these things, okay, HH on that, HH on that. I feel like there's something here, floor, that's covering these up. Well, there was a room separation line right there. We take that all the way across. That does what we need. And reset all that other stuff. Okay, so that's all I'm going to do for the time being. So if this room is, let's say, atrium or entrance, then that number should be 101, and then this door is marked 101. Now this is obviously another room. I didn't see these doors over here. So if this is the next room that I go into, then whatever this room is, let's say it's an office, it's going to be 102. And because I placed it after this one, I would imagine that this is saying, interesting. Okay, let me try something. I want you guys to see this. I placed this before this. We'll call this 103. If this door is 101 and this room is 103, then this door should also be referred to as 103. But then you can get into a situation where maybe you have, I don't know, another, like a wall here, and maybe you have some closets, right? I'm not sure, but basically, if this is just a small room, a closet, then do you give it another room? In this situation, if the office itself was 102, then whatever this small closet would be at, maybe we do, maybe we don't give it a number. But this might become 102B or whatever, right? So if this, why are we not seeing these? I think all of my room tags are saying name only, and I want to see name and number so I can make sense of this. So this, if it's a door going to 102, then that should be 102 in its tag. Now, the reason why I'm spending some time on this is because if this was a condominium, then we wouldn't report back every single door within every suite with its own unique number. We would say this door is type whatever, and it's for bathrooms in a suite, right? Or it's for bedrooms in a suite, or it's a barrier-free door for bathrooms in a suite. That way your schedule doesn't become like 32 sheets long. But when we tag these, right, 102, this one defaults to 104 because of the order that it was placed in, but this would therefore become like 102B, something to that effect. Okay. Now, when you go back to the schedule, we're starting to, this is more or less like what I'm expecting to see, but I should have a legend that shows what the door panel type looks like. If it says F, what's the difference between an F and a G2 and an FG, a Y, whatever. That should just be a legend. And then you should also have the elevations that show you what does the actual frame look like. Right now these all say A. There is a D in here. I'm not sure what the D looks like. Let's investigate. Takes us over here, and this is actually a screen, right? So we want to investigate this a little bit further. Then we should actually be selecting this wall, which I'm struggling to do. I believe this was part of an option, so if I uncheck this exclude options thing, I should be able to select that. Now we can type BX to see what's going on with this guy. Okay, so this is saying that it's a D frame. I probably wouldn't agree with that. I would probably go back to this and maybe put a hyphen in here or refer to, you know, a whatever. But that's a type parameter. Interesting. Okay, see, in that situation, this door, I didn't replace this door with a new one, but if we talk about this a little bit further, unlike the door next to it, okay, this door, if I order this from a manufacturer, it's going to be the same size, same everything, everywhere I put that, right? So when I put that into a schedule, that type, its parameters are all the same. But because this comes as part of a screen assembly, I can't just say that it's this type of frame. I mean, you could say that it's this type of frame profile, but you should probably be providing a jam detail to show the difference of what does it look like cut through here versus through here. Or what does this look like here at the transom panel, right? If I had an actual transom panel going across that, what would that mullion look like there at the head? Little things like that are key to remember. So anyway, we'll get back to this file. We'll talk a little bit more about the 2026 interface as well. We'll keep exploring some of these new things that you might see. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye now.